All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticisms, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Before we get started, I want to tell all of you thank you for your tremendous support. People are slowly but surely finding out about who we are and what we do, and they enjoy and respect the passion with which we speak. But as we always say here at Chin Check Sports Radio, we do this because we love it, as we are simply sharing our passions with you all as we continue to build our listening army to take over the world. We are your go-to on YouTube for Dallas Cowboys coverage all throughout the NFL season, as well as any and all Dallas Cowboys coverage throughout the year. And folks, that gong that you just heard, the music that just started playing, is the final nail in the coffin of the 2024 Dallas Cowboys. We understand there are more games to be played, but figuratively speaking, the Dallas Cowboys are done for this season with a 27-21 loss on the road against the Atlanta Falcons, a game that we were in attendance for, and it was that bad being in attendance as well as watching it on television. Quarterback Dak Prescott, 18-24 attempts, 133 yards, and 1 touchdown. Cooper Rush, 13 completions out of 25 attempts, 115 yards, 1 touchdown. Rico Dowdell, 12 carries, 75 yards. Jake Ferguson, 7 catches, 71 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 8 catches, 47 yards. Kamasi Turpin, 3 catches, 36 yards. Rico Dowdell, 5 catches, 32 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the defensive side, Eric Kendrick, 9 total tackles, 5 solo. Donovan Wilson, 8 total tackles, 4 solo, 1 tackle, 4 loss. Kalen Carson, 7 total tackles, 6 solo. We have some thoughts on him. DeMarvin Overshown, 7 total tackles, 4 solo, 3 tackles, 4 loss. Jordan Lewis, 6 total tackles, 4 solo, 1 tackle, 4 loss. Chauncey Golston, 5 total tackles, 2 solo. Osa Odigozua, 3 total tackles, 2 solo. Malik Hooker, 3 total tackles, 1 solo. Trevon Diggs, 3 total tackles, 1 solo. Buddy Johnson, 3 total tackles, 1 solo. And Carl Lawson, 2 total tackles, 2 solo, 2 sacks, and 2 tackles for a loss. Folks, the Dallas Cowboys have dropped 3 straight games. You know that at Chin Check Sports Radio, we don't gloss over wins, nor do we overreact to losses. But this loss is pretty bad. And it's not even break glass in case of emergency. The Dallas Cowboys are in serious trouble. They are literally in free fall right now, and we see no other way out of it. Going into this game, the Dallas Cowboys were trounced at home against the Detroit Lions, played a somewhat competitive game, well, at least in the first half, against the San Francisco 49ers on the road, and now on the road to the NFC South leading Atlanta Falcons. Again, the Dallas Cowboys played a decent game in the first half, and it all just came off the rails pretty much in the second half, followed by an injury to Dak Prescott. Now, where do we begin? Let us say this. The Jerry Jones going all-in experiment has totally failed and only took 8 games. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Cowboys season is objectively over, and it's only the first week in November. Let that sink in. Again, even though they are technically not eliminated from playoff contention numerically, but looking at the team, looking at their record, looking at the other teams that are ahead of the Cowboys, there is no way the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs. I mean, the Cowboys even have a shot. That means the Cowboys would have to win 9 straight games with that defense, that offensive line, that lack of wide receiving core, no running back, poor coaching decisions. That's what the problem is. So let's really dissect this game. Cowboys played well, but this is the second week in a row that a special teams gaffe has cost the team a touchdown. Let's go back to San Francisco. Cowboys were playing very competitive in the first half. In fact, we're leading in the first half. I don't know what kicker Brandon Aubrey was trying to do, trying to pin the 49ers back. The ball did not reach the 20-yard line on the kickoff. So per the new NFL rules, if the ball does not reach the 20-yard line, the ball is automatically brought out to the 40-yard line, and you gave the San Francisco 49ers great field position, and they never ever looked back. Let's go to this game. Third quarter, Cowboys have to stem the tide. They go for a fake punt deep in their own territory that it was looking like the receiver as well as Brian Anger, the punter who became the passer, was not even on the same page. So that play looked poorly executed, which seems to be a microcosm or quite frankly, which crystallizes the season of the Dallas Cowboys this year. Of course, Ezekiel Elliott. Go back and listen to the broadcast that we did about the lunacy of the Dallas Cowboys for bringing this man back. We broke down the numbers, the data, and the statistics that Ezekiel Elliott was either the worst or the second to worst free agent running back that the Cowboys could have picked up. We never understood the reason of bringing Zeke back. Clearly, Zeke is not the same running back he's been for the last couple of years. They brought him back. He clearly wasn't producing. His role was being diminished. Why he had meetings like he had an opinion really about anything. And come to find out, he was effectively suspended for this game. And the reasons that you're getting out of Dallas is from missing multiple team meetings. So clearly you have a player who was not producing and now all of a sudden is a malcontent. Ezekiel Elliott's ass should be escorted out of the door tomorrow. Now, quarterback Dak Prescott. Dak, we got some words for you, brother. Remember what you said, that whoever wanted to jump off the bandwagon can go ahead and jump off? Well, Dak, a lot of fans already jump off the bandwagon for this season. And a guy who's supposed to be the leader, our $200-something million quarterback, $60 million a year, and go back to what we said at Chin Check Sports Radio, we wouldn't have given Dak Prescott a damn dime because we saw everything that we needed to see. We said that the Cowboys should have moved on from Dak Prescott. We said this last season. And did you see the viral video of Dak Prescott telling Trey Lance, we blankety blank F word, we suck? Folks, that's your team leader talking like this. That is your team leader who's supposed to make guys better. That is your team leader who's supposed to galvanize the troops. And not saying that it's all his fault because Jerry Jones' experiment of going all in has totally failed. But Dak, too, has blame for this. Even before Dak Prescott got hurt or he went out with an injury or the pulled hamstring, 133 yards. That's a problem. That's pretty bad. Folks, look at the Cowboys' schedule for the next couple of seasons, for the next year or this season or the next couple of games. We only see maybe 4-5 wins at the most, so the Cowboys can maybe finish up at 7-10 or at best 8-9. Clearly not good enough for the season. So what do the Cowboys do going forward? Let's start on the offensive side. Let's start with Mike McCarthy. Should Mike McCarthy be escorted out of the door? Yes. Mike, this thing ain't working. So, thank you for the great 12-5 seasons, but we got one playoff win out of it. It's definitely time to move on. Dak Prescott. Remember, Cowboys fans, you argue with me about whether we should pay Dak some money or not, and I said we should not be paying Dak the money, and you see what that's gotten us. And by the way, you can see for those of us watching the game, how Cooper Rush was actually throwing passes towards the end zone. Tell me what passes Dak was throwing that was towards the end zone. Just asking the question. Running back, again, ad nauseum, bringing back Ezekiel Elliott, not calling Derrick Henry, and receiving end result. I know Rico Dowdle has been very serviceable, but again, there are better, more explosive running backs out there. Whether it's a kid from Boise State, the Cowboys need to draft a running back. We said last week that the 49ers drafted a kid out of Louisville who ran a 4.3, who was a third-string running back and ran all over the Dallas Cowboys. On the receiving side, we mentioned about having our apprehension, our reticence about giving CeeDee Lamb the big money. However, Dallas Cowboys fans, you spent off season trying to tell me that Jalen Brooks and Jalen Tolbert and Ryan Flanoy were supposed to serve as number 2, number 3, and number 4 receivers. Just looking at the numbers today, Jalen Brooks, 2 catches, 26 yards. Jalen Tolbert, 3 receptions, 19 yards, and 1 garbage touchdown. And Ryan Flanoy, 1 catch for 13 yards. And you wonder why the Cowboys have issues offensively. Stop getting these guys from these small schools. Stop getting these projects. Stop trying to find a diamond in the rough. Get you top-tier talent from top schools that's learning how to play NFL ball. Even watching the game today, the Atlanta Falcons who are last in sacks and pass rush. Got 2 sacks on Dak Prescott, which kind of embarrassing. But also, looking at it now, when you sit in the end zone, you kind of see how plays are kind of unfolding, and these Dallas Cowboys receivers got no separation. No separation, no separation. Give you some better offensive talent. Remember, the Dallas Cowboys at one point had Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup, all who caught 1,000 yards in the 2021 season. Just some food for thought. Going back to Mike McCarthy. Remember the 4th down when you called the end around to CeeDee Lamb that was stopped? That's how Mike McCarthy, his access card should be working, at least by end of the season. On the defensive side, yes, we understand that Micah Parsons is hurt. We understand that DeMarcus Lawrence is hurt. We understand that Sam Williams is hurt, and now his ass is going to be out for 3 games next season for violating the behavioral policy or whatever. We understand that rookie Marshawn Nealon is out. Quite frankly, I'm not necessarily sold on him. I don't see that fast twist like I see in a Micah or Sam Williams, but hey, it is what it is. And this is a chance for guys to really show what they're made of, and guys are not showing a damn thing. The only, maybe a few guys, I would say for next season, bring back Eric Kendricks. Not bad, solid. Donovan Wilson should have been benched a long time ago. He needs to be escorted out of there. And by the way, he got some money too. Rookie Kalen Carson. Besides the first game in Cleveland, I know this is his first game back, but he did not have a good game. He had beat on coverage, missing tackles, everything. DeMarvin Overshown, solid. No question. Love his effort, love his natural ability, love his motor. Jordan Lewis, serviceable, not bad. Chauncey Golston, I would still get a true defensive tackle. Osa Digazua, constant. Malik Hooker, ass should have been benched. Please escort out the door. Trevon Diggs, we're letting this season go because you're coming off of an ACL, but out of the big contract that you signed at the beginning of last season, we got a mid-season to ACL, and quite frankly, not very good play this year. So kind of something has to give. So Cowboys, they definitely are in free-for-all. The Cowboys have dropped 3 straight games now to go to 3-5. They play the Philadelphia Eagles next week, and there is no reason why the Eagles should be favored big, and I believe the point spread was already at 6 points. So clearly Dak Prescott is not going to play. You saw him limping off the field, so ain't no way in hell that he should be ready with a bad hamstring in a week. That's at least a couple of weeks. Personally, honestly, since the season's pretty much done, I would shut Micah down for the rest of the season. I would shut DeMarcus Lawrence out for the rest of the season and start building through the draft. Draft you a solid running back. Draft you Zach Martin's replacement. Zach Martin is not that guy anymore. Yes, he's going to the Hall of Fame, a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best offensive linemen I can say of his generation, and you can make an argument maybe of all time. That's a conversation for another day. But like anybody, he's got old. He's getting old, and he has gotten old. We simply said it's time for him to move on. We've been said the Cowboys should have moved on from Tyron Smith and found a replacement. We said the same thing last year. It's time to start looking for Zach Martin's replacement, and the Cowboys are a year or two away. Folks, Tyler Guyton ain't cutting the mustard. This kid does not even look physically ready to play in the NFL. He doesn't look physically mature yet. He almost seems to have baby fat. He's relatively light and small, and we're light and small, and you don't have the athleticism to deal with some of these pass rushes. I mean, Grady Jarrett was whooping his ass. And it's not to say anything bad about Grady Jarrett, but he's beating you with inside moves, so that means your athleticism is just not there. So this kid needs a whole offseason to definitely train his body and to get it where it needs to be. Terrence Steele, ass should have been out there a long damn time ago. Most other players on the defensive side, besides some of the players that we named, the Overshones and stuff like that, they can stay. Some of these other people, bags should be by the door based on when the season is over. Because again, when starters are out, this is your opportunity to take advantage of it and to make a name for yourself. And the Cowboys team seems just weak on the defensive side, and that's a serious problem. Kalen Carson, rookie, second game starting. We're going to let that slide, but brother, we ain't got too many more games, so aren't you looking like this? So definitely a hard reality for Dallas Cowboys fans, and quite frankly, the season was pretty much going down the drain even before Dak Prescott got hurt. All this is just confirmation. So it is what it is, but you know, we're still going to do our broadcast during the year. You know, win, lose, or draw, this is what we do. And it's Chin Check Sports Radio, signing out.